Okay, I'm talking to Ken Lyotier, who's helped to found and create United We Can. Ken, we were talking earlier about agency, social capital, and sustainable community development. Can you tell me what you think works and doesn't work? Is it the bottom up or the top down or what?
In order to support people in recognizing their own abilities and potential to change, particularly in a situation like the downtown Eastside, where we've got some major social conditions that need to be addressed, and we, as a society, want to see positive social change happen in our inner cities. In order to support people in the inner cities to come to grips with how to change into circumstances that are better, I think it's really incumbent on people that are working in this environment to start from where people are actually at. And that means accepting the real circumstances as a beginning point instead of how we think they're supposed to be. And that's very hard for people to do because we all come from different life experiences. And our values are, while they generally may be similar, everybody's life experience sort of directs their values to more different specific places. So accepting people as they are, where they're at, as a starting point to come to grips with how we can be different is a really important first step. And that's enormously difficult here at United We Can, as it is everywhere, but I think far too often we have a tendency, first off, to impose our expectations of how things are supposed to be as a starting point. And governments, because they're elected on platforms that ask them to respond to social issues and come up with programs that respond to social issues, design those programs from a perspective of, what things are supposed to be rather than how they're actually at and how we can move from there into a future. So sometimes we need to be able to say to those in positions that make decisions, for us at least, that program doesn't work. And sometimes that's really difficult to do because, we can often be tempted by budget-driven needs to say, okay, we'll twist ourselves into this in order to get the dollars to operate our projects and our programs. Our experience here at United We Can is that doesn't work. So we start from where we're at. Where we're at is binners who are scavenging in the garbage to find cans and bottles and other things that are valuable and bringing them somewhere where they can sell them for money. And that's part of where we're at in a society. I mean, people need money in order to buy what they want to buy, and if we're not a part of that economy, it's difficult to move anywhere else. So that's a base point for us. Now, in saying that, recently we had our July 1st Canada Day celebration here, and we're open every day. So on July 1st we give out strawberries and ice cream and cake and little flags, and it's all red and white, and it's very sort of patriotic and whatever, and the binners come in and they love it. They love to get some sweets. At the same time, there's a whole group of people in our community who aren't binners but on the street, and oftentimes, not falling through the cracks but into the abyss deep, and are not at a level where they're even able to be up there scavenging through the garbage for something of value. And those folks arrive at the door and they want goodies too because it's going out there, and so we have to respond to that. That, again, is a whole other level of where people are at, and how do we as a society work there with people in that circumstance. So, the only reason I illustrate that is that our little group is working at a certain kind of level. Some groups are working at different kinds of levels in society to address their visions and the issues of the groups that they're working with. For us, we sort of picked sort of a common denominator that works for a large group of people at a certain level. But it's not a panacea for everybody's circumstance, unfortunately.